Hello, and thank you for choosing Elven Lore as your space to explore literature and the magic of storytelling. Your support means everything. It's what makes these deep dives into books so worthwhile and inspiring. Today, we're diving into one of the most enigmatic, multi-layered, and surreal novels in contemporary literature. Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Kafka on the Shore is a masterfully complex novel by Japanese author Haruki Murakami. First published in 2002. It defies conventional storytelling and blends the boundaries between dream and reality, myth and modernity, consciousness and the unconscious. Structurally, the book unfolds through two parallel narratives that alternate chapter by chapter. One follows Kafka Tamura, a 15-year-old boy who runs away from home to escape a mysterious Oedipal prophecy and to search for his long-lost mother and sister. The other follows Nakata, an aging man with a childlike mind who, after a strange incident in his youth, can communicate with cats and finds himself drawn into a journey he doesn't fully understand. At first, these storylines seem unrelated. But as the narrative unfolds, the reader begins to sense symbolic and metaphysical connections between them. This dual narrative is central to the novel's core structural pattern, mirroring the inner conflict between logic and instinct, consciousness and the subconscious, the rational self and the dream self. From a narrative theory standpoint, the novel heavily draws on the hero's journey, monomyth framework, popularized by Joseph Campbell. Kafka embarks on a physical and psychological quest, a journey of exile, transformation, and self-discovery. He encounters mythic elements along the way, mysterious guides, oracles, symbolic landscapes like forests and libraries, and trials that test his identity and fate. On the other hand, Nakata represents the intuitive, dreamlike side of the psyche. He does not operate on reason but is somehow attuned to the hidden forces shaping reality. His role in the story reflects a return to the collective unconscious, echoing ideas from Carl Jung. Where Kafka's journey is intellectual and emotional, Nakata's is instinctive and mystical, showing us the duality of the human experience. Genre-wise, Kafka on the Shore is a brilliant example of magical realism, a style where fantastical elements are presented in a matter-of-fact tone and seamlessly blended into everyday life. Murakami uses magical realism to create a world where it rains fish, people speak to cats, and mysterious entities slip in and out of dreams and reality. These elements are not just decorative, they reflect inner states, suppressed memories, and metaphysical truths. Another defining feature of the novel's structure is its intertextuality. Murakami weaves references to Greek mythology, especially the myth of Oedipus, classical Western literature, music, philosophy, and Japanese spiritual motifs. Kafka himself becomes a sort of modern Oedipus, haunted by a prophecy, struggling with fate, guilt, and desire, yet the narrative resists simple resolution. It challenges the reader to think not in terms of clear answers, but in layers of meaning. Murakami's narrative style is also intentionally non-linear and dreamlike. Time is fluid, cause and effect are often ambiguous, and the narrators are unreliable. The entire novel unfolds like a philosophical riddle, where the border between inner and outer worlds constantly shifts. The result is a deeply surrealistic structure in which dream logic governs the story more than realistic causality. Ultimately, the pattern at the heart of Kafka on the Shore is that of a psychological and metaphysical quest. What begins as a teenager's runaway story becomes a journey into the deepest layers of identity, memory, fate, And freedom? Murakami doesn't just tell a story, he invites the reader into a world where meaning is hidden in metaphors. And the real story happens between the lines.